What's going on, guys? Killer6 back with another patch notes video, this time for the DLC 4 drop. And we got some pretty good stuff in here. There's not a whole lot this time, but there are some really good things. So let's get right into it. Obviously, they're adding support for the 4th campaign add-on, Psycho Krieg and the Fantastic Fustercluck. They're increasing the level cap by 5 levels to 65. No DLC is required for that. Even if you don't have the season pass or you haven't bought DLC 4, you will get level 65 level cap increase just by being online and downloading the patch. For some general notes, they are adding more SDU upgrades for pistols, shotguns, submachine guns, assault rifles, and grenades, and 2 expansion SDU upgrades for the Lost Loot Machine on Sanctuary 3. So very nice changes there. They're addressing a reported concern where the refill ammo prompt would persist for clients in a multiplayer session. They're also changing it so the player class icons will now show with the profile pictures for Steam and Epic Game Store on PC cross-platform players. That way you know what each person's playing on when you want to go and find somebody to play with. Now for some Mayhem changes. Players will now have a chance to redeem themselves and fight for your life when Slayer is active and they've killed an enemy with a melee attack. Previously, occasional melee attacks would just leave you lying there dead. Mayhem modifiers will no longer change when a player joins through matchmaking. This was one that absolutely frustrated me to no end. They are also adding Mayhem damage scaling to support shields with Nova or Reflect behaviors. This is a lot bigger than it sounds. If you guys have ever used any sort of Nova shield or any sort of Reflect or Spike shield in the game before this patch goes live, they are weak as hell. There's absolutely no point in them. I'm interested to see what the Impaler shield might actually be capable of now. Now for some character changes on Amara. They're changing it now so that Amara's ties that bind augment now only passes gun and melee damage to enemies. Certain types of damage were unintentionally being passed to other enemies caught in the phase grasp. This change prevents those interactions, but no other changes have been made to this skill. I don't know what this actually entails, but I do know that ties that bind is probably still going to be dominant, and if not, then check out my face cast Amara build. You're going to have a lot of fun with that thing. Other character changes, we got Beastmaster. The headcount passive skill no longer prevents Rakk Attack from gaining the proper number of charges when scoring critical hits. This is a big one because previously when you were trying to do a Rakk build on Flak and you were hitting your crits, you weren't getting your action skill cooldown with headcount the way that you normally are supposed to get it. So this is good that they're fixing that, which means that Rakk Attack is actually going to be kind of viable again. Up next, the Beastmaster's dominant skill will continue to damage beast targets throughout the skill's duration. Now, I don't know that this is going to be enough to make me even try the dominant skill. If you guys don't know, dominance is the capstone for the blue tree for Flak, and it is just not what you want in a capstone. I'm just trying to be as nice as possible about that. I just don't like dominance. I feel like it's a bad skill. Up next, the Beastmaster Stackbot class mod will no longer reset its damage stack increase when an enemy takes damage from a splash source or an elemental damage done over time. This is really big. If you guys don't know, the Stackbot class mod for Beastmaster is one of the best in Flak's entire arsenal because it will allow you to stack up a lot of damage. And previously, if you accidentally hit with some elemental DOT or you hit with some splash, then it would just reset your stacks, making it just completely worthless basically at that point. Now you don't have to worry about that, so that is going to be huge for Stackbot players. And then finally for Flak, we've got the Friendbot class mod is now going to get increased pet damage. This could be interesting. I know on the surface everybody sees Friendbot and Flak and they're like, that class mod sucks. Why would you even use that thing? Because what the Friendbot does is it allows you to give your pet a second wind if they're in fight for their life by killing an enemy, which, you know, I would occasionally just keep that on in case my pet went to fight for the life and I didn't feel like, you know, going over there and reviving them. I'd just throw that class mod on, boom, they'd come up after I kill something, then I switch my class mod again. But that's a little more work than I was willing to do a lot of the time. So this is interesting. It'd be kind of cool to see if this like makes it so you can do some pet builds with Flak. I don't know. We'll find out because there's no hard numbers in the patch notes. Finally, the Gunner Drowning a Brass passive skill now applies bonus damage to both of Iron Bear's weapons rather than just the left. And that's interesting. I didn't even know that that was a thing, to be honest with you. Drowning a Brass is a skill that I use on my new Moze 5.0 build, which I'll be dropping here in a day or two once I get all the gear accumulated for the build. But it's, I didn't even know that there was the potential to get more damage for Moze, but apparently there is. So it'll be fun to wreck even more face. And then in terms of actual hotfixes, they're addressing reported concern that the legendary shotgun, the Garcia, would fire vertically when being used by the client in multiplayer games. So they're just fixing the way that that gun works. So that's your patch notes for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then make sure you hit that like button, hit subscribe, and tap the bell icon to be notified anytime I post another video on Borderlands 3. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. And if you want to, come over and watch me on twitch.tv/killer6. I'm live right now testing out the patch and seeing what's good. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.